What's up, y'all? Welcome to the
Get Legit Podcast.
It's your boy, composed by Ferb, and
I'm Low Nose Music. Welcome to the show.
Power! Power! Here you come with the bullshit. Yeah, we need that other camera. That's my camera. That's Ferb. That's the camera that's gonna get the good shit right there.
No, that's in the box.
Your homeboy.
Grab that box with the thing.
Bro, you wanna go get that box, bro? Come in something too, bro.
No, bro.
Bro, stop fucking up the shot, bro.
I'm
You still got a Kit Kat in the back, bro?
Let her do her job, bro.
I'm talking to her. You messing it up.
That was always at an angle for us.
We're gonna have to get a new host page. Page, be on the lookout for a nigga over 6 feet with dreads.
First, sing that power.
What's up, y'all? We got a great topic for y'all today. We're gonna be talking about the traditional education versus an untraditional education. Want to go down? Start from college on down.
Yeah, let's go up the high. Let's start at the higher education.
I like that.
What are the pros and cons of the college education in today's society? That's what I want to talk about. I went to college, graduated from college, had a great college career, a lot of fun, little learning, you know. Went to an HBCU. I went to the Alabama State University. Actually just got back from the homecoming. It was lit. They booked me to come out there and host the event. And I went to A&M the weekend afterwards. Okay. I mean, well, the day afterwards. And that was on the takeover that y'all saw. Pros of college. I like going to college. It was more women, you know. Coming from Atlanta and going out to college and just seeing all the different, you know, people from different places. It was an eye-opener a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Even if you've been in the city, and even a major city, like when you get a lot of people that are around your age that are from so many different places like you normally wouldn't see, that was definitely a benefit, you know what I'm saying, for me. Not even, like I said, the women, but the people I met. I met a lot of cool people. But the women, but you got to put the women first.
Women are cooler people than men.
Ladies
That's
first.
what he means.
Ladies first. So you got to put the ladies first. But nah, man, I met a lot of good people out there. And I think that would attest to like what I say my biggest pro of college was, which was my network. Like even after now, you know, shit, I've been graduated for a while right now, but you know, I don't even know how many years. It's been a while, but
you can't go nowhere with these guys.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You can't go nowhere with these guys.
But no, man, I met so many good people, like not just at my college, but like through my fraternity and just like road tripping and going to so many different other places and meeting quality people that I still keep in contact with. It's really definitely a pro, and it still benefits me to this day. So,
sure.
What about you? You go to college or?
Oh yeah, I went to college. And walked right up out of there. So I went to college for about a semester and a half. It was a smaller school, University of Cumberland's. It was in Williamsburg, Kentucky, a dry county. So coming from the Atlanta area, I went from, you know, it's popping in Atlanta, especially during our time. We had teen clubs, we had fun, we you know what I mean? It was things to do. This was a dry county, the school. A dry county, if y'all don't know what that means you can't drink alcohol. This was a private Christian school, and there was nothing wrong with that. But for me, it was too much. It was too far from coming from a big family, and it wasn't enough freedom for me. So I left. But then I began my entrepreneur career, and it's been great. So I'm almost glad I didn't go to HBCU.
I say, how you feel about that?
Because I almost did go to HBCU.
Okay. But
this other school was offering a little bit more money. I was a smaller player, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other HBCU, they had more money to give the bigger players.
Yeah.
So
understood.
I didn't go there. But if I did, I for sure would have graduated. I'm glad I didn't. No.
Yeah.
Because knowing what I know now about the culture behind HBCUs, and that's one of the pros I would say, like, you know, going to a school where you're not just you're around your friends in Atlanta, so not only are you confirming some of the things that you learned as you grew up in your hometown, and that just goes with traveling anyways.
Yeah.
You're also learning new things, you know what I mean? And some of the things that you're confirming, if it's like respects, like if it's respect here, is respect there, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Or if it matters here and it matters there, then it must be important. So
Definitely, man. Like I said, a lot of different people from a lot of different places, accustomed to a lot of different things, and it just opened up your eyes, you know, because like you'll never know about the different habits or the different traits someone possesses somewhere else unless you actually get to interact with them And that's a real powerful thing, just to be able to open your eyes up to something that's different than what's the norm for you. Because one thing that people got to really realize is everybody don't think the same. Like the way you think, the way that you move, the way your morals are set up, generally that comes from your upbringing, because from the time you're born, you're like a sponge. So you're soaking up everything that's around you, you're soaking up your environment. If you reach out and get some more knowledge or get some more exposure, that's on you. But generally, it's all right there. I feel like it's a big culture shock for a lot of people going to college, especially that freshman year. You see the people that's been there, that's established. You got the new people that's coming in. You got people that ain't never been away from their families.
My world did the opposite. It went from Atlanta to...
Oh, no, don't get me wrong, bro.
It was the opposite.
I went from Atlanta to Montgomery.
But it was Alabama State, though. It's still Alabama State.
School is not much better.
I ain't dissing Cumberland. I'm not
dissing Alabama State is a big school now. It's doing real big things. Actually, the first band to lead the Rose Bowl parade. They got their own TV show. Like all that. I set the groundwork for all that.
Oh, you did that? That's you?
Oh, yeah, that was me for sure. For sure, that was me.
Face ass.
But now, like I would say, some of the cons, man. Like just moving on with college, I feel like the biggest con was I don't use shit that I learned in college. Like all of the classes, all the extra credited classes, all of the extra credited classes that I took. Basically meaning you had to, it's a point system. So when you graduate college at Alabama State, you had to take certain credits. And you had to have a certain amount of credits to graduate. But we were taking classes that, it was like high school classes. Like it has nothing to do with my major. So I feel like that was a waste of time, And I actually stayed in college for 5 years instead of the traditional 4. Because there were some semesters where I had to be a part-time student because some of the credits, the specific credited classes I needed weren't available.
I've heard that a lot of times. I mean, I had experiences with my own credits, but I just was like,
whatever. You was ready to go.
No, it was over with. Over with. It was my family had a lot going on, and I was like, if I stay here, I'm not happy. I'm going to either get myself in trouble, so I got out of there. But I do have other family members that have ran into that credit. But it's all about,
It's all about money, man. It's all about money.
Day, so the
college is an institution.
You got to be disciplined. I will say this: people that do have a degree, like I look at them with a certain, not level, but a certain type of discipline. You have to have discipline to get to that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I do have discipline, but at that time I didn't.
You didn't want to focus your energy towards that. You had bigger.
At that time I didn't. I didn't see a purpose at all of me being there and paying them to be there.
Man, I actually, crazy thing is I actually almost left college. Like I went and I was a communications major, right? So I was a communications with emphasis in music industry. My professor was Dr. Ashbourne. Crazy industry lawyer back in the day from New York. You know what I'm saying? He worked with all the big people, but he actually came to teach. And like, I was working in the music industry. I wanted to be a music industry executive at that point in time in my life. And so basically, like I was using, I think I caught a fly. So basically, I was in his classes and everything, and I used those a little bit. I did use those when I was actively pursuing that, but I forgot what the fuck I was talking about.
You talk about Professor Ash when you was in college trying to be an executive in the music game?
Yeah. I'm trying to see how I was relating it to the cons though. Well, yeah, I was saying I don't use a lot of that stuff now. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Dr. Ashbourne, shout out, that's my dog, like he the realest. You know what I'm saying? I met some dope professors in college. That's a pro. Yep. But like I'm trying to just think of everything that was bad about college. So college can be bad. I can say this. Because I did see a lot of people, and like you said, you went from more freedom with your family here in Atlanta, more exposure to different things, to a smaller school. But in my instance, I saw certain people that like got out of what they were used to at home, which was not as much exposure, and then they put them in a college atmosphere, and they couldn't keep up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it wasn't even just about the classes. They might have been, you know what I'm saying, struggling with some classes, but they weren't focused. And it was because they weren't focused because they had way too much exposure to different shit.
That's me.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. I could not. I couldn't take it. I was driving home every weekend. So how you studying? You driving 4 hours from Kentucky to Atlanta every weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of the cons of that. And I'll say the biggest con is just the notion behind you feel like you have to go in a lot of our upbringings. Like I felt it wasn't nobody pressured me, but it was just something like, oh, when I graduate, I'm going to college.
Yeah.
Now if I knew what I knew now. You know what I would have did? I would have took a year off. Yeah. And then I would have like figured it out. But that was one of the cons is that I felt like I just needed to go right into it. I didn't need to do that. Okay. I didn't need to do that. But I'm glad it happened.
See, look, and you brought me back to the con that I was talking about earlier that I forgot. But no, like basically I was about to leave school. My sophomore year, I was working in the major that I was talking about with Dr. Ashbone music, and I really wanted to do it, and I had an opportunity to go out to Chicago to do some stuff with a big DJ I'm not gonna name. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I wanted to do it, but like I don't know, like I was in college because of my mom. You know what I'm saying? My mom wanted me to go. She was the first person in our family to go to college, and she graduated. She was the only person. So like me and my sister afterwards are like the next two people. So it was really big to her. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to upset moms. And I was like, all right, I'll stay. I don't know how my life would have ended up if I would have left. I don't know. I mean, my life is pretty decent now that I did stay, and I don't really regret it. But, like, one of the cons of college is, like you said, they really make us feel like that's the only way. And I'm not saying college is a bad way. I enjoyed the hell out of my college experience. I wouldn't change it for nothing. But it's not the only way.
Which, you know, that kind of brings us to the next, we're going to caveat a little bit to I guess the only way would be a formal way or, you know, the untraditional way. There's pros and cons of that. And even the time that you went to college and even when I did, and the time that have changed, like, it's not like that anymore.
No, definitely.
You don't have to go to college. You don't, you know what I mean? A lot of these kids aren't, and they may do something first, then go to college, or they may not go to the traditional college.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I think if I had another chance now knowing what I know, I probably would have went to like a trade school. I would have left and probably did like a trade school type situation because it would have put me right into the money. You know, like I was saying earlier, all those fluffer classes that they put in to keep you there, your orientation, your, you know what I'm saying, your intro classes, you did all that shit in high school. Like that, you're really milking my money at this point in time because you're paying for it. It's not free anymore, you know. And that brings me to the biggest con of college, which is student loans.
Money,
because that motherfucker, hey, it's all about that money, bro. Like them student loans, oh my God, like it's crazy. Like I actually paid towards my student loans while I was in college, but I still had some left over. And you know, like, bro, came out of college, I was working with some industry stuff on the road, dealing with artists. Missing mail, got, you know, irresponsible, and that like really hit my credit. Like I had like all of my semesters that weren't fully paid off like go in default at the same time. I didn't really know that much about financial literacy then, even after graduating, coming out of college. So I wasn't really worried about my credit score. I'm just kind of living right now, trying to make fast cash, trying to do this, trying to do that, hustling. And that shit took my credit score down to the 5s. Like it was terrible. It was like 14, 15 crazy. Accounts, you know, all defaulting at the same time.
I can't go. I can't go.
So that's the biggest con.
I'm going to say this, though, before we move any further.
All right.
If I was to go back to school, it got to be an HBCU.
Okay.
And they got to.
So let me ask you this question. If you could change going to a school or finishing school, would you do it again? I know you say if I could, but like if you could change it and you had the choice, would you go back to school and finish?
I would have never even considered it.
Yeah.
If I know what I know.
You know what you know
because,
now.
Because I would have never considered it just because, I felt like that time for me, that short period of time could have been spent, you know, experiencing different things or, you know, collecting funds or whatever it was, or, you know.
Yeah.
But it was cool. But I don't regret it. But if I had the choice and I had to make the choice, I would have not gone to university at all.
So if somebody offered you now, like, you can come.
No, now if it's where I am at now, I would choose, and that brings me back to what I'm saying. If I was to go, I'm going to HBCU.
Okay.
And I'm going Omega Psi Phi. I know it's hard. I mean, no disrespect.
Man.
No, because I grew up. I grew up in Atlanta. Like that was what. When I went to South Carolina State on my visit, when I was like, yeah. But it was just, that's what I would do, because I would be going to school not to just say I went to school at this point in my life. I would be going to school to accomplish stuff, be somebody that I want to be, maybe be a part of an organization that I like the people, you know what I mean?
You understand.
And learn too. Like I would be in the class actually learning, not just saying, I'm gonna pass this anyways. The teacher don't even remember nothing because he's too old. Literally.
So you would definitely have a focused path if you went back now.
I would enjoy it.
You would be going not to just say you went to college to get a degree. You're going to learn a certain skill set or learn something. You know what I'm saying? Tangible.
Or maybe give it to my mom too. That got a lot of it too. Give my mom the piece of paper.
Well, Black mamas love graduation.
Because my mom thinks it's important. But right now, if I want to do that, then I need to keep doing what I'm doing right now so I can afford it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So, what about you? What about you?
All right. Speaking then, like after high school, I would have went to college, but I don't think I would have stayed that long. Like after I got what I wanted, with you know what I'm saying, I definitely wanted to play it before I went to the school. That was one of the main reasons why I kind of agree with my mom, but I probably wouldn't have stayed around as long afterwards, you know, like just chasing that degree, just to walk across the stage.
Right.
I probably would have like did what I had to do, you know what I'm saying, put in my work, and then it's like, all right, I need to make this money, I'm gonna be around, you know. Now, if you gave me the choice to go back to school, fuck no. I'm not going.
So your answer is no.
Oh, no. Now, if I could go back to school now, I'm not going.
Okay.
I'm not going. I'll take a class. I'll take a course. But like a whole can't do it. Couldn't do it.
That's interesting to hear from somebody that actually is on the other side of already having a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
so
and there's people, you know, I only got my bachelor's. There's people that got, you know, their masters, their doctorate. And it's like, I couldn't even do that. Like, that wasn't an option for me. Like, I didn't like school like that. And I would rather have the experience than the in class, especially like what my major was, and me getting out of school and, you know, dealing with different music industry, you know what I'm saying, business aspects. It's like, it's not exactly how the book says.
It's nothing like the book says.
It's a powerful thing to have that book skill and that book knowledge, because you know what the standard is supposed to be.
But the industry, if you want to keep it real, the experience is going to teach us.
The experience is going to teach you what's going on.
The industry is ran by money.
Yeah.
And whoever had, you know what I'm saying? So all that stuff is nice. And a lot of times the people in the industry are the ones that's write the books too. So I know what you mean, but it's cool to go and confirm that. So I wouldn't if I could go back. But now where I'm at, if I had some time, I would.
Yeah.
I would.
The biggest thing is time.
Yep.
Let's back it down and bring it back to a earlier part in life before college. So let's go K through 12 education. If you could go back to like K through 12, how would you do? Would you want to be like private school?
I'm going to say this. If we're talking about me, because the times matter too, I would want it exactly the way that it was, public school. Because every generation and every time, really not just generation, every time has a different path. Now, if it was me, born in 1992, I'm going to a regular public school. I like the fact that I, you know, got into different things, knew a lot, you know, and you know, being in the Metro Atlanta area, you kind of, it's a little faster. You know what I mean? It's nice. You know what I mean? It's big too. You know, people here, you know, people there.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. And I moved a lot, and a lot of people don't like that. They tell you whatever, but I know I love that now as an adult. I got the freedom to not move. So I loved meeting more people and, you know what I mean, different people, you know what I mean? So stuff like that, I would have kept it from the public school. But nowadays, no sir.
You don't think so?
No, nowadays, no. If I could, in a perfect world, my scenario, I'm gonna ask you the same thing, but it's gonna be you. And then if you had a child,
I want to hear the nowadays.
If you had a child,
I want to hear the nowadays. What's up with nowadays?
I'm not speaking none of this. Knock on wood. If I had a child, I would want, in a perfect world, I would want a private educator for my children or my
Yeah.
child that like is paid to educate my children. So they would have the curriculum as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whatever that would cost, I would figure it out. And they would also teach them other things that my kid actually is inspired to do because they're going to last longer with that energy and the stuff they love doing. Luckily, my parents, like, they were young, they was hip. My pops, he was writing with me, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Teaching me how to write, like, so stuff like that. I would read, I would make him collages, and he would encourage stuff like that. So I got all that stuff at home, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if it was me, I would need somebody that treated my kids like family, too, because I'm going to be traveling. I want them to have class in Africa one day, class in Mexico one day.
Okay.
Not the day, but 1 month, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they
for
may
sure.
not. But, yeah, that's what I would like. The at home, I guess it would be called. But, yeah, field trips all the time.
All right, so I'll give my spiel on it real quick. If I had to go back, definitely would keep public school. You know, like that whole situation, like you said, like, that was the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was it. Like, it's so many memories just packed. Like, I can't even remember it vividly, but I remember, like, growing up, you know what I'm saying? You have fun. You deal with what you deal with. You go through what you go with, but you meet all different types of people that in your same community. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That you probably wouldn't necessarily be exposed to if you were in, like, a private situation or, you know what I'm saying, like a boarding school situation. So just knowing the people that you grew up with and just having, you know what I'm saying, people that you can look back and be like, damn, I know you back from whoop de whoop. You know, it's a good thing to say, you know what I'm saying, especially when you go back home or you're visiting people and, you know, if you haven't moved, live in the same area. Nowadays, I kind of agree with you. Like, I would want somebody private for my child, but I think it would be in addition to a public school situation.
And nowadays, public school.
Yeah, I mean, because public
scary,
school,
man. And
it's scary.
Shout
it's
out
scary,
to the educators,
but guess
of
what?
all. But it's scary out there right now, man.
It's
These
scary, bro.
kids
But the
dying
thing that
in
people,
schools,
the thing that people got to realize is people is dying in the world.
True.
So I don't want to shelter so much to the point of, even though you young,
I just don't want to have to pick nobody up and take them to the same place every morning. That just sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot to keep it real.
On the bus.
I'm like, look, maybe.
Shit, I rode the bus. You got to get your ass on the bus. But nah, man, just like, cause like, you got to think about it. Like, life isn't gonna be just everybody that you want to be around. You can place yourself in places where you want to be, and around people that you want to be. But you still may interact with certain type of people that you might not want to interact with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It ain't about the people though. It's about the benefits of traveling, and that's another educator. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like my biggest educator is traveling. When I went to Kentucky, I realized stuff about myself I didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I appreciated where I was from, even where I went to high school, different type of things at a whole nother level.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
Then I started
do.
traveling.
That country shit is
man.
real.
When you start like traveling is just, man, it's my favorite educator. It's actually, I love traveling, and that's what I want my kids to experience.
Let me throw a monkey wrench in your shit real quick. If you weren't able to travel, like say for instance, if it's a situation where you know you're not at where you're at right now, and it's a situation where you can't necessarily just travel the world and expose your child to everything.
Montessori school.
Montessori school.
Montessori school. Yep.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
Yep. You don't like? What you think about that?
I mean.
So Montessori school, they kind of cater towards what the kid is good at, or what you and the parents come up with a curriculum, and they still teach. A lot of them still teach all the regular stuff too. Okay. But I mean, if the kid knows at 10 years old that he wants to be a chef,
then he's gonna be culinary.
Or if he wants to be an electrician, or he wants you know what I mean. It's a lot of different types of those schools. You know what I mean. So I think it's Montessori school.
Montessori school.
Nah,
that's dope.
School.
That's dope though. Like that's dope. That's dope for sure.
So I would do that, and then I would, I just don't. I know it's kind of like if we're talking. That's why I say my child. I wouldn't want to say any child because I know what type of DNA and what type of personality would be passed down to. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't even want that chance of them doubting themselves until a little bit later. Maybe at high school. maybe when they're 14.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the biggest thing that is on my mind when it comes to education now in schools, public schools, whether private, all that, is I think the biggest thing that we missed in my generation was just financial literacy. So, once I have my child and, I'm bringing up a person who has to learn from me and other people, of course, but I want people to actually push teaching that financial literacy. You know, like, I feel like that should be a curriculum in public school.
So that would be one curriculum. I actually was going to ask you that. What would be one curriculum you would add to
Financial literacy, perfect. Because,
That's
I mean,
dope.
it took me so long. Like I said, when I got out of college, I was just living life. I'm like, okay, college over. I'm not even thinking about student loans. I'm not, they in deferment. Boom, I deferred them soon. Boom, they in deferment. I ain't got no job. I just got out of college. Guess what? They out of deferment. I don't know. Oh, they negative. Oh, they 100 days. They 90 days. Like, oh, shit. You know, it come back and hit you. You know what I'm saying? Just coming back. But it's like, if I would have had that financial literacy in my beginning and the foundation of my education, I would have moved a little different. Right. You know, I would have known, like, you're only responsible for what you know because you have the ability to go learn it. But if you're not exposed to it and no one else is exposing it to you, it's kind of not your fault. But, you know, that's why we got to be advocating, spreading that shit as wide as possible. Like, it's really, really important. And, you know, it just lead me to, like, prosperity. You know, I want to talk about prosperity today. And, like, my quote for today is, like, it's a million ways to make a fortune, you know, but everybody got a different path, and you got to pick it yourself. So whether you want to go to school, you want to go to college, you know, you're homeschool, anything. You don't got you got a GED, shit, you didn't graduate at all. It don't matter. It's successful people at all levels of education. So it doesn't matter what you're gonna do. It just matters what you do with what you have.
Right.
And what you choose to learn in your path of trying to get to where you want to go.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I like that. I'll go ahead and go with purpose.
Okay.
My quote is going to be, never be afraid to reinvent yourself at a moment's notice. Like, a lot of people we don't give ourselves the power to do that. So if you do want to go back, or you feel like you want to jump into the entrepreneur world, whatever it is, never be afraid to reinvent yourself. Have a plan and reinvent yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's my quote for purpose.
Okay, man, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. You don't think people call you fake if you reinvent yourself?
No, absolutely not. Why would I care? Didn't you reinvent yourself as the did you reinvent yourself as the host of the Get Legit podcast?
Yeah.
I think I did too, my brother.
Definitely did.
That's how stuff gets done.
But nah, like, that just brings me to power, bro. And I'm glad you said that. And, like, we really like-minded in a lot of ways. And I appreciate it because, like, last week on my Instagram page, I posted, like, a video. And it was a man speaking. He said, you don't truly understand how powerful you are until you don't care about what people think about you. And that's big, bro. You got to think about it because some of the most memorable, some of the most notable, some of the most achieved people did this shit the way that they wanted to do. And they stepped outside of the comfort zone of a lot of other people. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the power in not really caring about how people perceive you. And if you're working in the purpose and you're working towards something that's going to push you to bigger work, you know, to bigger and better avenues of life, then, I mean, you're doing your thing, man. So, like, that's my thing for power, man. You got to let go of what people think about you. Like, and it's hard in this society, especially because all the exposure of everybody's personality is on blast. Everybody's style is on blast. Everybody's lifestyle is on blast. It's hard to not care what people think about you. But if you're really working towards what you want to do, and you're really living in yourself, and you've been in your purpose and using your power, bro, you can't be stopped. So, like, that's my tip for today on power, man.
No doubt, no doubt. That sounds like a wrap.
Sound like a wrap, do you?
Yeah, man. That's another episode.
Once again, I really like to get a lot of interaction between everybody on the podcast. So please go answer the question that I had for y'all earlier. What would you change if you could attend or finish college? Like, would you change it? Would you do it? I want to know y'all perception on that. And we're gonna
co-ed rooms.
Man, we go. Bye.
Peace out, y'all.